Hi there, welcome to practice. My name is Brooke, and for today's class you're going to need a yoga strap or something like that. And we'll also be using a blanket, firm blanket. We're going to start with our blanket rolled up on our mat. So just begin by rolling your blanket into a tight roll. And my blanket's pretty thick, so I'm going to stop short of rolling it all the way up. That would be kind of big. I want it to be something about that big. Okay, you're going to put the bottom tips of your shoulder blades right here on the blanket so that the head and the shoulders are sort of above the blanket, and then the rest of the torso. So finding that sweet spot for yourself there should be in a place such that the shoulders really feel like they're above the roll and able to sink towards the floor. Okay, and then meanwhile, the mid-back, the low back are on the other side. Essentially, you're trying to put the prop in the place where we are the most stiff. And the place where I sort of want that part of the upper back to move in is the bottom tips of the shoulder blades. Okay, and you can even push yourself this way slightly to encourage that movement once you're in a good spot. I'm not moving myself on the prop, I'm just sort of isometrically shoving the blanket into my upper back using my feet. Okay, and then we're going to take the arms out to the sides. And you can keep your legs bent if that's more comfortable, or you can extend your legs out. We're just going to be here and breathe for about 2 minutes. I'm going to keep myself honest and set an actual timer since I have the ability to do that. 2 minutes can feel like a really long 2 minutes if you're doing something that's hard. Or 2 minutes can feel like nothing if you're doing something that feels really good, like maybe sleeping. And focus on your breath here. Really letting the prop make an imprint for yourself about this movement of the upper mid back in. Sort of upper mid back or lower upper back, depending on how you're looking at it. And there it is. All right, let's bend our knees, placing the feet on the floor. We're going to roll to the side to press ourselves up. Okay, you can set the blanket now to the side and be done with that for now. And we're going to come to hands and knees for cat-cow. I'm going to move my hair out of the way. You sit up for cat-cow here. Place your hands on the floor slightly wider than your shoulders. Spread your fingers nice and wide apart. So really taking up space with the palm of your hand, and press the tips of the fingers or the pads of the fingertips down against the floor. Okay, we're going to move with the breath. So starting with taking a deep breath in, you allow your belly to move down as you arch the back like the shape of a lazy cow. And not just the belly here, but can you also move the upper back in? And the same way the blanket was just moving your upper back in for you, now you do that consciously, sort of by melting. I think of this like melting the upper back or melting the heart area, heart region towards the earth. And then lift your chin, lift your tail, and then as you exhale, we'll take the opposite shape. So now scooping the tail down, and then really big and round in the upper back. Let's do it again. Inhaling to arch. Exhaling to round. And one more. Inhale to arch. And exhale to round. Good. Coming back to a neutral spine. Let's take the knees slightly further back now. Tuck your toes under. Lift your hips for downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. As you settle into your first downward facing dog here, feel free to move in any way that would be nourishing for you and allow you to settle into the shape a little more fully. For me, that's kind of pedaling the heels back and forth. This is right away the first thing talking to me today is my calves as I stretch here. If it's your hamstrings, a deep bend in the knees can be quite helpful. So don't make downward facing dog about trying to get your hamstrings to stretch. Make this about getting your spine to lengthen. And we do that by pressing hands down forward, reaching hips up, back. Nice deep breath in. Full breath out. Let's do that again. Inhale. Exhale. And this time, inhale, come into plank or high push-up position. Exhale, lower all the way to the floor. Okay, so in addition to sort of engaging the back body to shift our posture, we engage the back body, the muscles of the back body. We need to open the muscles in the front body. So can you take your arms out wide here? We'll do this stretch for the pectoralis muscles. We're going to start, the first time our arms are going to stay straight. Okay, so I'm just going to lay the right side of my head down. Avoid smothering myself with my hair as I reach my arm out to the right. And then I'm going to roll to the right. I'm allowing my shoulder to come down to the floor and my arm is staying straight. And I'm just going until I feel some kind of stretching in the front of the body in the chest area. You can play with where your hand is on the floor, sometimes moving it towards the head or walking the hand up towards the head. That actually gives me a stretch in an area where I feel more stiff than if my hand is just straight out to the side. So there's better payoff here if I spend my time in this place. Great, and then we'll come back to the belly, and we're going to do that on the other side. So I'm going to roll to the left. Okay, and I'll start with my arms straight out, and then I'm going to roll kind of to my left hip, my left leg. I take my right leg behind me for balance. I'm using my right hand for balance. I'm just walking the left hand a little further up, and now I have to come out a little because it's actually too much as I go into a region where I feel quite stiff. Nice deep breath in. And full breath out. One more. Good, and we'll come back to the belly. Okay, we're going to do a similar shape to what we just did. This time, though, we're going to keep the elbow bent. I think of this as like the leg of a spider. Okay, and I'm going to be also up on my fingertips instead of having the palm flat. So fingertips, elbow is bent, but my hand is still further away from my shoulder than being under my elbow. Okay, and with this, we're also going to keep the shoulder lifted away from the floor. So I'm going to increase the distance between my hip and my armpit, side body long, and then I'm going to roll to the side. I'm not going to let that shoulder come down this time. My elbow stays bent. I'm on my fingertips. Oh, that's very nice. And then you get sort of a different experience in a very similar shape. You can rest your head on the floor. I don't even need to come to my foot behind me because I can't quite go as far with the elbow bent, and that's fine. The inner experience is what we're going for, not some outer shape. Really lift the armpit, lift the shoulder away from the floor. Good, and then we'll come back to the belly and pelvis and go to the other side. Walk the right arm in. We're going to walk the left hand out on the left fingertips, left elbows bent like a spider leg, and I've got the left shoulder lifting away from the floor, so it's not going to touch, and I'm going to roll. I can push with my right hand a little, and I don't need to go as far on this side either. I will lay my head down. Nice deep breaths. You can play with where the hand is, maybe walking a little further out or a little further up. Finding where it feels most nourishing for you. And then we're going to come back to our belly pelvis. Okay, rest your head on the floor. Stretch both legs back. Turn your knees squarely to the floor. All 10 toenails to the floor. Press down through the tops of your feet until your legs are straight and strong. And then with that, look forward. Reach your arms back alongside your body. So locust pose. We're lifting the upper body only. Leave the legs down. In fact, press down with the tops of the feet as you lift the shoulders. Lift the chest, lift the head, and then lift the hands. Can you lift the shoulders faster than you lift the hands, but lift the hands. And then reach out through both arms. Nice breath in. Full breath out. Inhale, see if you can lift a little higher. And exhale, lower down and rest. Okay, let's do that one again. And keep your head kind of in line with the rest of your spine as well. So we're not like lifting the gaze way up right now. Just keeping everything very neutral. The head is neither dropped nor is the head like neck super extended. Okay, so arms back, palms face down. Engage the legs. Press down through the tops of the feet, all of the toenails. And then scoop your tail toward your heels to really anchor the pelvis down as you lift the chest, shoulders, head, and then lastly, hands. Breathe here. Reinvigorate the work of your legs, pressing down as you lift up. Good. One more inhale. Exhale, lower down, rest. Okay, next one, cobra pose, which you may be very familiar with, but we're going to do it a little differently today, since name of the game is shift the posture. I'm going to come up onto the fingertips and have our hands a little bit wider than our shoulders. So for me, that's actually hands are coming off of the mat slightly. I'm actually going to bring my chin down towards my chest And then same actions in the legs as locust here. Press down through the tops of the feet. Nice, strong, straight legs. Scoop your tail. And before you lift your head, you're going to press into the fingertips, squeeze the shoulders back, and come up with your chest. So it's almost like the shoulders are the two ends of a hammock, and your chest is sort of hanging in the hammock. Bring more work into the legs. So this is quite challenging now as we squeeze the shoulder blades back, pressing into the fingertips. Stop when you feel like you can't come up any further, and then at that point, keep your tailbone scooping towards your heels as you lift your chin and look forward. So this is a funky cobra. Nice deep breath in. Exhale, come on down. And rest. Alrighty, last belly down back bend like this. Take your arms out to the sides, fingertips on the floor again. Press down through the tops of your feet, strong straight legs, scoop your tail towards your heels, bow your chin towards your chest. So sometimes what happens a lot for us, as we lengthen the back of the neck, it helps us connect right away to lengthening the low back. And that's what we're doing by taking the tail toward the heels. Lengthen the low back. Keep your chin bowing towards the chest. Press through fingertips. Come on up. Shoulders back. Shoulders stay back, squeezing back the whole time. Good. Lots of work in the arms as the elbows stay bent, really load bearing there. And then from there, lift the chin. Take your throat back and look up. Exhale to lower down. And rest. Okay, place your hands on the floor. Press up to hands and knees. And now after all of that, let's go back to downward facing dog. Notice what's different. Notice what's the same. Press down and forward with your hands. Reach your hips up and back. Extend your spine. Yeah, let's walk the feet forward now for Uttanasana, standing forward fold. If the hamstrings feel stiff today, bend the knees quite a bit. So you're bringing your belly, your lower ribs more in contact with your thighs. Meanwhile, let your head hang. Okay, bring your hands to your hips and draw your shoulders to your back. Lift your chin. Inhale, come on up. And exhale, bring your hands to your heart. All right, grab that strap that you've got. I'm going to do some shoulder pass-throughs. So nice opening, full range of motion for the shoulder joint here. As we do this, we might need to adjust the distance between our hands. So start with your hands pretty wide, like wider than your shoulders. Let's say, especially if you know your shoulders are relatively stiff, then start with your hands quite wide, okay? And then from there, we're gonna take this first shoulder pass through here. We're gonna take the arms all the way up and back. Okay, and then all the way up and forward. So the goal is to be able to keep the arms straight through the whole range of motion. So you want to take your hands wider if you felt like you needed to bend your elbows. you're still a good person. Just take your hands wider and meet your body where it's at. If you weren't feeling much yet, then bring your hands more narrow. Okay, I'm gonna lift the chest nice and tall, stand strong, and then we'll raise the arms up and go through the full range of motion again. And for me, like the sticky spot becomes right there. So I'm gonna lift my chest a little more. I'm gonna squeeze my shoulders back so I can go through that range of motion with a little bit more mindfulness. Good, we'll do it again. Okay, take 5 more. Coordinating your breath with your movement. Make sure you're not jutting your head forward as you go through the range of motion. Try to keep your head in alignment with your spine. I lost count, per usual. I think this is 5 for me. All right, and then we're going to take the hands back behind us, holding your strap. So just right at the top of the back of the pelvis here. And so we're going to set our feet up again as if we're going to go, or we are going to go into Uttanasana, standing forward fold. So not as if, but knowing we're going there in a moment. Then lift your chest, squeeze your shoulders back, squeeze your elbows back. So increase the distance here between your outer hip and your armpit. So it's like you're shrugging your shoulders up, but they don't stay shrugged up because then you pull the shoulders back. And I want you to soften the trapezius muscles or the muscles right at the top of the shoulder here. So they're not holding your shoulders up. Just go up and back and then think soft. You can also think move shoulder blades in towards the upper back. Okay, and then from here we're going to straighten the arms behind us. For some of you, you may need to let the hands move apart on the strap as you do that range of motion. Quite a bit, maybe here, that's fine. Okay, so whatever you need in terms of being able to straighten your arms. For me, I'm going to keep my hands relatively close together. Okay, and then we're going to bend the knees, anticipating we're going to forward fold. We're going to bend the knees quite a bit. I want you to think nice long spine. You're going into a back bend with your upper back, but your torso is going to do a forward bend at the hips. So the upper back is doing a back bend. The hips are doing a forward bend. Okay, bend the knees as much as you need to, low belly and lower ribs with the thighs, and then allow the arms to come up and overhead. Allow your head to hang. And you can play with taking the hands a little further apart as needed to explore that range of motion here. For myself, I notice a strong tendency to keep lifting my head. I really have to consciously tell myself like the top of my head is heavy, so it hangs like an apple hanging from a tree. Good, and then from there we're going to bend the elbows. And set the strap down to the side. Okay, take your hands back to the floor. Step back to downward facing dog. As you press into the hands, turn the eyes of the elbows or the creases of the elbows forward. Another way you can think of that is turning the triceps out and down. Push into both hands. Reach your hips up and back. And then exhale, lower your knees to the floor. And sit back on your heels. All right, let's grab our blanket for a seated twist. So unrolling your blanket roll. And folding it in half twice so that you have this nice long flat rectangle. And put your sitting bones on the blanket. Stretch your legs forward. Sit forward on the blanket prop enough that it feels as though you can really have your pelvis like the bowl. If your pelvis was a bowl, the liquid inside of the bowl is level with the floor. So rather than the bowl tilting back or forward, the bowl is even. Okay, and then we're going to extend the legs, flex the feet, spread the toes. This is just for a moment here, Dandasana, or staff posture. Keep your left leg doing Dandasana. Bend your right knee. Place your right foot on the floor. And bring your right heel close enough to your right buttock, right sitting bone, that it feels like now your right foot is part of the foundation for you. Okay, we're going to take the right hand back behind us, placing the fingertips on the floor. Inhale, reach your left arm up. As you exhale, turn to the right and hook your left arm to the outside of your right thigh. So now we have 2 points of contact we can use as leverage to help us rotate, but we want to do that with really good strength in the core and supporting the low back. So inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, rotate. Rotate by pressing, but also use the strength within your torso to turn. Roll the right shoulder back. Meanwhile, try not to forget about your left leg. Okay, so extend out through the left heel, spread your left toes, press your left thigh down. One more inhale, lift up. Exhale, twist. Use your inhale to unwind. And exhale, extend the right leg out. Bend the left leg up. So same thing here. Right leg is going to stay in Dandasana. Take the left fingertips to the floor behind you. Inhale, reach your right arm up. Exhale, rotate to the left and hook. So first go, I get kind of just above my elbow to my thigh. But then I can put my left hand on my left thigh. If I show you that here, I can put my hand on my thigh and dig a little deeper. If I push my leg and reach my arm, get in there just a little bit more. Okay, reinvigorate the work of the foundation. So your leg, your 2 sitting bones, and your left foot are the foundation. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, rise up through the chest. Exhale, turn, twist to the left. Great. Use your inhale to unwind. And exhale, extend your left leg out. Okay, you can take the blanket, set it to the side. Grab your strap again. Lay down onto your back with your knees bent. Ponytail, no ponytail. Ponytail, no ponytail. Okay. You don't have to use the strap for this one, but it could be a nice option in bridge pose. So what we're going to do is start by holding on to the outer edges of the sticky mat. Set your feet up so that they're parallel to each other. Your heels are close to your outer buttocks. Okay, and then press your head down, the back of your head and down into the floor. Lift your upper back up and then scoop your shoulders under you. As you do that, also rotate your arms out. From there, press down through your feet, lift your hips up. Okay, so option here to continue holding on to your mat or take your strap. And the same thing as before, but we're going to turn the palms face up. So the palms are facing the glutes, and then you're going to extend the arms, holding as wide apart on that strap as you need to. for it to feel as though you can fully extend the arms, but you're still getting a lot of movement in the shoulders. Okay, continue to press into the feet, continue to lift your hips up. Good, and then from here, press down through the shoulders. Allow the back of the neck to lengthen. One more breath. Good, letting go of the strap or your mat, and then we'll lower the hips back down. From here, we'll send the knees over to the right for windshield wipers, supine twist. As you go into this, flex your feet, spread your toes apart. Option to stay here, or take your outer right foot, hook it to the outside of your left thigh. It's encouraging that leg to lengthen out and away. As you do that, it might come closer down towards the earth. From there, you then can add some work in the arms, reaching up. Take a hold of your left wrist with your right hand. Pull your left arm away as you reach your left leg away. And release your right foot down. Raise your knees back up. Lower your knees over to the left. Maintain active feet, spread the toes. And stay here, or place the outside edge of your left foot on your outer right thigh. Good, keeping the feet active. You can drag the outside edge of your foot along the outer right thigh, and then with your left hand, grab hold of your right wrist. Pull your right side long. And releasing your left foot to the floor. Raise your knees back up. Hug both knees into your chest for a moment. We're going to make our way into Shavasana now. So for the sanity of my pelvis, my low back, I generally like to put a blanket right behind the back of my thighs. This sort of supports that there. You may be able to lay flat with no props quite comfortably. So just showing you an option that could be helpful if it ever feels really uncomfortable in your low back to lay completely flat in Shavasana. Another option would be a bolster or blanket underneath the backs of your knees. We'll take the arms alongside the body, palms facing the sky, and close the eyes. Take a moment scanning your body with your awareness. Just observing any areas that are still holding tension. Send your breath into those places and soften and become heavy and rest. And slowly deepen your breath. Maybe bring some movement into your fingers and your toes. Become aware of the space around you. When you're ready, bend your knees and roll to one side. Rest there for a few breaths. And turn a little bit closer towards the floor. Push down with your hand and arms and press up. And come to a seat for a moment with your eyes closed. And join your palms together at the front of your heart. As we work on these postures work on us. So may the work that you did today help you to breathe a little bit deeper, sit up a little bit taller, raise your head a little bit higher in your life. Thank you for sharing your practice with me today. Namaste.